an infamous thief to catch whom the police of almost 40 countries had united, yet they could not catch him. That thief set his sights on the Petronas Twin Towers in Malaysia, from where he planned to steal nearly 8,000 crore rupees. Was that thief successful? Friends, the movie story I will tell you today is called Entrapment. The movie has many good twists, so be sure to watch till the end. Without delay, let's start today's movie story. At the beginning of the movie, we see a night scene of New York City. A thief was standing on top of a building, planning a robbery. He fits some equipment on the roof and attaches a rope to his body, then jumps from the building. In a moment, the rope brings him near the room he needs to enter. He opens the window with his advanced tools and enters the room. Just then, it appears as if someone is watching him from a distance in the darkness. This thief goes straight to an expensive painting on the wall of the room. He carefully removes it from behind, as an alarm was set inside it. If it is somehow pulled, he will be caught, because the alarm will ring if there is a pull. He then removes the painting and rolls it up into a container. The name of a man named Green was written as the recipient's address on the container. That is, it will be posted to someone named Green. Now he drops that container into the post box. The scene changes here, and we arrive in Malaysia. There we see this Green, to whom the painting is to be sent. Green receives a phone call and is informed that he has sent the painting to his address. He is very happy to hear this. This girl's name was Virginia, and this was her office. Virginia worked as an insurance inspector in her office. That is, it is an insurance company. The stolen painting was insured by this company. Virginia and her senior officer, Hector, are watching the CCTV footage to find out who is behind the theft. Then Virginia's colleague, Hector, asks her who stole this painting. And if they cannot solve this theft case, their company will have to pay a very large sum of money, and in this case, they might even lose their jobs. Just then, an old auction video of the painting comes into their hands. Virginia sees a most wanted thief in it. She becomes suspicious. She tells Hector his name is Mac, and I completely believe Mac committed this theft. Because there is no other thief as smart as Mac in the world. Hearing this, Hector says, "So, will we arrest Mac now?" Virginia thinks for a moment and says, "A valuable mask will be auctioned in London in a few days. I believe Mac will come there too. We can arrest Mac from there." As planned, Virginia now sets off for England. In the next scene, we see Virginia has arrived in England and is sitting in a car in front of a shopping mall, waiting for Mac. Just then, Mac arrives in a car in front of the mall and enters inside. Virginia sees him. A little later, an emergency alarm rings from inside the mall, and everyone immediately starts coming outside. Virginia then sees Mac also coming out from there, but Mac suddenly seems to vanish into the crowd. Finally, disappointed, Virginia returns to her hotel. Upon entering the hotel, she sees that her suitcase is missing, which contained all her clothes. Having no other option, she wraps a bed cover around herself and falls asleep for the night. In the middle of the night, she suddenly wakes up and sees Mac sitting on a chair in front of her. Seeing this, she is somewhat flustered and asks Mac, "What are you doing here?" Mac, in turn, asks her, "Why are you following me?" Then Virginia says, "A valuable mask will be auctioned next week. I need your help to steal it. That's why I was following you." Hearing this, Mac says, "I also know about this auction, and I am also a guest at this auction." Saying this, he shows a magazine where the auction is mentioned. "I will meet you tomorrow," and saying this, he vanishes from there. Virginia turns on the light in the room, but Mac was not there then. Virginia is completely surprised to see how Mac disappeared in an instant. The next morning, we see Virginia and Mac standing in a car at an antique shop. Virginia enters the shop. According to Mac's condition, Virginia asks the price of a specific vase inside the shop. As soon as the shop owner says the price, Virginia introduces herself and shows her security agency card. "I need this for an investigation, so I will not pay any price for it. And I will return it when the investigation is over." While they were talking, a man was secretly listening to them from a distance. Hearing Virginia's words, the shop owner cleverly picks up a knife and immediately holds it to Virginia's throat and says, "No one can take this vase without paying the right amount of money." The vase was in Virginia's hand. She suddenly hits the shop owner on the head with it. The shop owner immediately faints and falls to the ground. Virginia sees that the vase is broken, but a camera film is stuck inside it. Virginia picks it up and comes to sit in the car. As soon as she sits in the car, the man who is secretly watching them from inside the shop attacks their car with a knife. Meanwhile, Mac drives the car very fast and escapes from there. Virginia shows the film to Mac, and Mac asks her to give it to him. But Virginia does not give it to him. Instead, she asks, "I will not give it unless you tell me about this film." Then Mac says, "That camera film contains the blueprint of the building where this mask will be auctioned." Talking like this, they stop in front of a hotel. Then they go straight to the top floor of that hotel. There Mac tells Virginia something that makes Virginia mad. Mac says, "I have stolen 4 valuable tracking chips insured by the company you work for. And I have kept one of those chips inside your bag. And I have kept that bag in the building called Kryptonic, the building you are watching me from outside." Then Mac shows Virginia some pictures where Virginia is seen watching the building through binoculars. Without committing a robbery, she has fallen into Mac's trap. And now she had no choice but to follow Mac's instructions. Mac also tells her, "If you don't help me, I will give this picture of yours to the police, and you will have to go to jail for stealing the chips." As a result, Virginia is forced to give him that camera film. Then they board a chopper on the top floor of that building. They go straight to an island where Mac had a huge castle. This suggests how big a thief Mac is. That is, he bought this island with his own money and built that huge castle. Getting out of the chopper, Virginia is completely stunned to see all that. That night, Mac comes to Virginia's room and tells her, "Take rest today. Tomorrow, we will discuss the robbery plan." The next morning, Mac starts discussing the building blueprint with Virginia. Within moments, Mac explains the entire blueprint to Virginia. When the question of who will go inside arises, Virginia says she will go inside and commit the robbery. At first, Mac objects, but later he agrees. In the next scene, we see Virginia doing gymnastics. And seeing this, Mac understands that if Virginia is trained, she can easily commit the robbery. Just then, Mac brings a painting to show Virginia. And Virginia is startled to see it because it was the painting that was stolen at the beginning of the movie. And here comes a different kind of twist. Here we learn that Virginia is also a professional thief like Mac. Although not as big as Mac, she also has a record of some famous robberies. And the painting theft shown at the beginning was committed by Virginia. At the time of the theft, we saw that the thief, meaning Virginia, dropped the painting into a postbox. A man was watching her from a distance with binoculars. And that man was none other than Mac. After Virginia left, Mac took the painting from the postbox and kept it with him. That is, that painting did not go to Mr. Green. Actually, Virginia thought she would put the blame for her robbery on Mac, but she was not successful, and she never thought that Mac was already watching her robbery. That is, we understand, Mac has always been watching Virginia from the very beginning. And here I also clarify to you that when Mac came to know that Virginia was trying to put the blame for her stolen painting on Mac, he immediately stole those chips and kept them in Virginia's bag to frame her. Now tell me, how did you like this twist? Honestly, after watching the movie up to this point, my head was completely spinning. Be sure to let me know how you liked it in the comment box. Let's see the rest of the story now. The next day, a man named John comes to Mac's house and gives him some equipment for the robbery. Mac and John knew each other very well. Then Mac casually tells John that Virginia will commit their next robbery. Then Virginia's robbery training begins. First, Mac teaches Virginia how to blast a cement block or wall with dynamite. And then comes the main phase, where the mask will be kept. The room where the mask was kept had laser beams inside. It is absolutely impossible to pass through that laser easily. If the laser is touched somehow, the alarm will ring and the thief will be caught red-handed. To train with this laser, Mac uses red thread tying several small bells to the thread, and Virginia has to pass through this thread. If the thread touches the body, the bell will ring. Virginia proceeds very carefully through the thread, but after moving for some time, the thread touches her body and the bell rings. That is, she fails. And Mac says some harsh words to her for failing. And Virginia also shouts at him because it was a very difficult task, and Virginia was trying her best. The next day, the practice starts again, and this time, Mac ties a cloth over Virginia's eyes. In that state, Virginia starts her practice. Virginia was slowly moving forward correctly, avoiding the red thread net. And this time, she finally finishes her work and comes in front of the mask. She now picks up the mask in her hand. And seeing this, Mac's anxiety decreases a little. That night, Mac gives Virginia a dress, which Virginia will wear to the mask exhibition. The next morning, Virginia rides a bicycle to a phone booth and calls Hector from there. She tells Hector that she is now with Mac, and when Mac steals the mask, she will catch him red-handed. Meanwhile, Mac, sitting in his house, overhears their conversation with a personal device. However, when Virginia returns home, Mac does not say anything to her. The next day, they go to the mask exhibition wearing those clothes. Everyone went there to see that priceless mask. And here we also see John, who had gone to Mac's house. Mac and Virginia go in front of the mask. Mac then uses the excuse of fixing Virginia's dress to put a tracking device on the floor in front of the mask. They calculated with their foot maps and placed the device in a place where there would be no laser. And then they come out from there. As soon as the exhibition ends, the room is closed and the invisible laser inside is turned on. Meanwhile, we see Virginia and Mac entering a tunnel in a boat. From there, they jump into the water and swim to the gate under the water. Then they cut that gate and enter inside. They first enter a chamber where there is no water. Here Mac takes out his display device from which they could see the direction of that room. Without wasting time, they proceed in that direction. Now they come to the place which was the room above them, that is, the tracking point that Mac had put using the excuse of fixing Virginia's dress. Then they put some dynamite on that ceiling. The floor was so hard that it was not possible to break it with one blast. And if there is a sound, the guard will hear it. So they come up with a perfectly brilliant plan. It will be 12 o'clock soon, and there is a big clock in that building which will chime 12 times consecutively. So they divide this whole explosion into 12 small explosions. Within moments, it is 12 o'clock, and the chimes start. It is seen that the explosion happens 12 times, matching the 12 chimes. And as a result, that floor breaks, due to which the guard did not hear any sound. Now, Mac installs a special device, with the help of which he could see those invisible lasers. Virginia enters through that empty space. She could not see any laser there, but she was moving towards the mask following the instructions given by Mac. She was moving very carefully and slowly towards the mask. On the other hand, it is seen that the guards were given a break for a few minutes because it was 12 o'clock. As a result, the guard outside that room goes on a break. Slowly, Virginia finally comes in front of the mask. Then she presses a secret code on her device and opens the cover of the mask. Now she puts the mask into a hidden pocket of her dress. And she puts a chewing gum in place of that mask so that there is no sound. Then Virginia comes out of that room again, using Mac's instructions. Meanwhile, the guard returns to his place. He is a little suspicious at first. He looks inside the room and sees that a monkey mask is kept in place of the mask. That is, someone has stolen that priceless mask. He immediately sets off the emergency alarm, and all the security guards rush out to look for them. However, before the guards can catch them, they escape from there and come to their boat. Mac gets into the boat first, and he takes the mask from Virginia. Then he tries to drown Virginia in the water because Virginia had labeled him a thief without him even committing the painting theft. Seizing the opportunity, Virginia holds a knife from her boot to Mac's throat. And she makes it very clear to him that she could also kill him right now and escape with the mask and the painting right away. But she gives the knife to Mac. As a result, Mac starts to trust her, and the scene changes here. The scene changes, and we see Mac and Virginia have reached Malaysia. Virginia informs that she has her next mission there, and that's why she has come here. From there, the two of them go straight to their room. The room was empty. There was no bed, only an open floor. But looking from the balcony of that room, the popular Twin Towers of Malaysia could be seen. Virginia says, "We will sit here and plan our robbery." That Twin Tower, that's where the world's biggest bank is. From this bank, black money is sent little by little to all the banks in the world. The vault where all that money is kept cannot be opened without the bank chairman's retina scan. Mac says, "Where will you get that retina print from?" Then Virginia says, "I have joined hands with the biggest don of this city, Greenie." Greenie's people joined hands with the bank's security guard and sprayed something in his eyes one day. The chairman then goes to an eye hospital for an eye checkup. As a result, the doctor there takes a retina print from his eye during that eye checkup, and I have that now. Then Virginia shows him a CD cassette and tells him, "I created this program using all the technology I got from working in the security company. With its help, I can transfer some dollars from all the banks in the world to my own account with a single instruction. My target is $1 billion, which is almost 9,000 crore rupees." Hearing all this, Mac initially refuses to work with her. But when Virginia agrees to give him a 50% share, Mac agrees. The next day, Mac goes out and takes pictures and videos of that building. Returning, he starts his plan on how they will enter the building. Meanwhile, Virginia goes to Mr. Greenie and gives him that painting and the suitcase which contained a mask. Greenie takes the painting and wants to give her a device instead of money, without which Virginia cannot commit the robbery. Then, Greenie opens the suitcase and a stone is seen kept inside it. Seeing this, he gets mad and drives Virginia away from there. On the other side, Mac meets John and gives him that mask, and says he will give him that painting within a few days. Hearing this, John suspects him and makes it clear that he must have joined hands with Virginia. "If I don't get that painting, I will expose everything about you." And he leaves from there without taking the mask. From this, we understand that Mac and John were both business partners. That day, when Mac returns home, Virginia attacks him. And they wrestle for quite some time because Virginia's respect was ruined with Greenie for the mask not being inside that suitcase. Like this, they get quite close to each other, and the next day, Mac returns that mask to her. Then Virginia takes that mask to Greenie and returns with that device. But when she was returning home, someone kidnaps Virginia through the market and brings her to another place where Hector was. Actually, Hector was keeping an eye on Virginia since the last time they talked. Here, he shows Virginia some pictures of her intimate moments with Mac. He says, "I understood that you have joined hands with Mac, and you are planning to deceive our insurance company." Then Virginia says that she will arrest Mac red-handed in a few days. And all the incidents in these pictures are just a part of her plan. Then Hector lets her go. And we see John shows up there. The conversations between John and Hector here suggest that Hector paid John to collect information about Virginia so that Hector could arrest Virginia. Now comes that night. Virginia and Mac set out for the bank. Mac enters the building wearing a cleaning staff uniform. Meanwhile, Virginia comes to the New Year's party as a guest wearing a beautiful dress. Mac goes to the security camera control room in the elevator and sets a device and comes out from there. Meanwhile, we see Hector has gone to that hotel. He goes straight into the CCTV room. He introduces himself to them there and says he has been sent here so that there is no surveillance problem today. On the other side, Mac sets the time on a device and comes out from there to meet Virginia directly. He takes Virginia and gets into an elevator, and Hector sees it. After crossing a few floors in the elevator, they get out of the elevator on the 70th floor. Coming out, they press a button outside that elevator, and they enter that elevator again. But this time, Hector cannot see her. That is, Mac has blocked the camera of that elevator with his device. Then Mac and Virginia change clothes and go straight down to the 86th floor. Then they spray a strange substance on the floor, and invisible lasers are seen there. Very carefully, they cross it and move forward. From there, they go straight outside the vault room. Now they find the password of that room with a device there, and as soon as they press it, the door of that room opens. They enter inside the vault, and then they go to the main computer. There, Virginia gives the retina print of the bank chairman that she had, and unlocks that main computer. Now they connect the server system with the main computer with some wires so that the money transfers to her account after the money transfer. Meanwhile, a team sitting in New York transfers money from this bank within 10 seconds on New Year's Eve every year. Because only for 10 seconds before 12 o'clock on this day, this vault is off, and at 12 o'clock, the vault starts again. So they have to transfer the money within these 10 seconds. In the meantime, those last 10 seconds begin. And all the money transfers to Virginia's account within just 10 seconds. On the other hand, everyone downstairs was enjoying the New Year celebrations. As soon as Virginia disconnects the wire from her main computer, the emergency alarm of that vault rings. Immediately, the main computer hides. However, seeing that the CD for the money transfer is stuck there, Virginia blocks it with a wrench for tightening nuts. By then, a huge security force enters the building. Meanwhile, seeing that the vault door is closing, Mac throws a tool at Virginia, and Virginia blocks the door with it. Mac now takes out that CD cassette from there. They see that if they do not get out right now, they will be locked inside this vault. So they run out of the vault without wasting time. Coming out from there, they go straight up to an elevator and start going down. Hector sees an elevator coming down from above, and he immediately jams the elevator. Meanwhile, Mac and Virginia are in danger. Then Mac opens the door of that elevator with an iron rod, and the two of them escape from there. Meanwhile, the army sees it from the next building and throws mustard gas at them. The gas spread all over the floor. They could not breathe, and the soldiers also arrived on the floor in the meantime. Mac breaks the glass window there and comes out of that room. Then they go straight into an emergency exit room. There was only one way for them to escape from there, and that was a rope between the two buildings. They were walking very carefully across the rope to the next building. If there is even a small mistake, they will fall down. After that, they bravely move forward for some distance, and just then, the rope they were walking on comes undone. They are left hanging down, and now they were crossing the rope only by hanging on with their hands. However, after going some distance, the rope held by their hands also comes undone, and they are left hanging down by the rope. Virginia was on the lower side, and Mac was on the upper side. With great difficulty, they climb the rope and come to the connected passage between the two buildings. And this place was guarded by all the security guards. Mac and Virginia evade them and come to the path above. And just then, a flying security helicopter spots them. They raise their hands for surrender. And right at that moment, at a signal from Virginia, they run to the other side of the path. From there, they come in front of an emergency exit ventilation duct and open it. Meanwhile, the army people arrive there. However, before they can enter there, that door closes. Mac lets Virginia down from there with a parachute, and Mac stays there. A little later, Virginia is seen coming up from an underground duct. Everyone downstairs was enjoying the new year, and Virginia was sad because Mac had been arrested by the police. After this, the scene changes, and we see Virginia sitting at a train station. She thinks that by now, the police must have killed Mac too. Meanwhile, Mac arrives there. Virginia rushes to him and hugs him. And just then, one by one, John, Hector, and several other police officers arrive there. Virginia is surprised to see this, And we learn that John had been associated with the FBI for a long time, and Mac found out only later. Hector and John were planning together to arrest Virginia, and Mac joined their plan later. Virginia feels very bad hearing all this. Just then, Mac comes to talk to Virginia and whispers in her ear, "I have put that CD in your pocket and a gun in the other pocket." Virginia understands Mac's plan and instantly takes out that gun. She immediately holds it to Mac's head. Then Virginia cleverly leaves Mac there and gets on the moving train. And seeing this, John, Hector, and the police force on the platform start going towards the next station. In a moment, that train passes, and just then Virginia is seen standing on the other side of the platform. That is, she has deceived John's team. She got off the train from the opposite direction,